Hello everyone, my name is Emily Gruzinskis. I am the coordinator of recruitment for the Southern Miss Honors College. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about a program that we have called the Honors Keystone Program. This is a point of entry for students who may be transferring into the university from other universities, from community colleges, or maybe you're a current USM student and you're not yet a member of the Honors College. This is a really great opportunity for you to join the Honors College, to join our rich and vibrant community, and to take advantage of the opportunities that we have for undergraduate research and mentoring. So I'm going to be talking a little bit today about how to apply, how to qualify, and what the benefits are of joining the Honors College. So just to give you a little bit of background on who we are as the Honors College, we're actually the oldest honors college in the state of Mississippi, and we're the sixth oldest honors college in the nation. Just a little bit of trivia there for you. Our Honors College is actually comprised of about 500 scholars across our Hattiesburg and Gulf Park campuses. Our students pride themselves on being intellectually curious, driven, passionate about learning, and they thrive on academic challenge. Our students have grit and determination, and they are passionate about learning new things and challenging themselves on a daily basis. They also come from a wide range of majors and backgrounds, and they have a very diverse set of goals for what they want to do beyond graduation. Wow, the Honors College sounds like a really, really great community to be a part of. How do I apply to be a part of the Honors College? I am so glad that you asked. That is such a great question. So in order to apply to be a member of the Honors College, you can either be a native USM student, so you can be someone who's already a member of the Golden Eagle community, either in Hattiesburg or on the Gulf Park campus. This program is available in Hattiesburg and on the Gulf Park on the Gulf Coast. So if you're planning on studying on the Gulf Coast, you can also be a member of the Honors College. Some students aren't aware of that. Students who are transferring into the university, you can also apply to be a part of this program. So whether you're transferring from another university or you're transferring from a community college, you can also apply to be a member of the Honors College and the Honors Keystone program. Now, in order to apply for the Keystone program, we do have some other credentials that you have to fulfill. We do not have an ACT requirement in order to apply for the Keystone program. I want to make that very clear. While we don't have the ACT requirement, we do have a GPA requirement. So in order to apply for the Keystone program, you have to have at least a 3.4 GPA or above in order to fill out the application. This program is meant for students who are going into their junior year. It's a 4-semester program, so we want you to have completed at least 45 credit hours in order to go into this program. For this year, right now it's spring 2020, you should have an anticipated graduation date of May 2022 in order to come into our fall class for the Keystone program. So if you have an anticipated graduation date of May 2022, those 45 credit hours and that 3.4 GPA, you should be set. You should be able to go into the application and fill out the application no problem. Another really important piece in filling out the application and applying for this program is an interest in independent research. Our students complete an honors thesis project in their senior year. I'll talk a little bit more about what this looks like, but that is the brunt of what our program is around. We want students who are intellectually curious and who want to contribute new information in their fields. So if that's not really something that you're interested in, this may not be the best program for you, but I want you to stay tuned anyway just to hear the many benefits of getting involved in something like this. While we're talking about qualifications, I do want to make a special note about transfer students. If you are graduating from the honors program of any of these community colleges, as long as you complete our Honors College Keystone application and you're graduating in good standing from that honors program, you will be automatically admitted into the Keystone program. You don't have to compete for admission. So if you are graduating from the honors program at PRCC, Meridian Community College, Itawamba Community College, MGCCC, or Jones College, I just want to make it clear that you will be automatically admitted into this program as long as you complete the application in its entirety and you're graduating in good standing. You do have to submit a letter with your application that states that you're graduating in good standing, a letter from your director, but I just wanted to make that note really quick that you guys have a really great contract with us that automatically guarantees you admission. Before we get into the details of what the Keystone program consists of and what the classes are like, I do want to mention that every student who is admitted into the Keystone program will receive a scholarship from us. We call it the Honors Keystone Scholar Award, and it's a $1,000 scholarship that is stackable with your other scholarships that you'll receive each year for both years you're in the program. So that's $500 per semester for your 4 semesters in the Keystone program, and that's stackable with your other scholarships. So if you're coming in with a PTK scholarship or an academic excellence scholarship, if you're a current USM scholarship, this will stack with your current scholarships. So I definitely encourage you to stack scholarships whenever you can. The reason that we provide this scholarship is to help you with your financial burdens. We don't want you to have to be too stressed out about finances whenever you're here at the university and you're taking on this program. So definitely keep that in mind, that this scholarship will be able to stack with your other scholarships, and that this financial assistance is part of the Keystone program. So let's talk about what the Keystone program is and what the curriculum consists of. I mentioned before that the Honors Keystone program is centered around undergraduate research. So essentially what you'll be doing in the Honors Keystone program is you'll be learning about research, you'll be learning about the thesis process, and then in your senior year you will complete a thesis project of your own design under the guidance of a mentor. So let's talk about what that looks like. It's a 5-hour course sequence across the 4 semesters you're in the program. So if you were to apply and be admitted, you would come into the program this fall. In the fall, this would be your junior year, you would take a class called Honors 300. It's a 1 credit hour class, and basically we're going to explore what research is. We're going to talk about what is research, how do I do it, what is a thesis project, how do I do that. We're going to walk with you through those different steps of the thesis process. We're not just going to expect you to know how to do a thesis project coming into this. We're going to walk with you through that every step of the way. You're also going to take a class called Honors 301. That's what you would take in the spring. Again, it's another 1 credit hour class. As a part of this process, you are going to have the opportunity to interview faculty members from your department whenever you're in the Keystone program. So we are a research institution. I'm sure many of you have heard that. Essentially, that means that most of our professors are actively working on their own research, which is a really cool opportunity. They are trying to contribute to the conversations that are going on in their fields right now. So they are trying to create new information that will hopefully lead to progress in their fields. No matter what major you're wanting to do, no matter what field you're wanting to go into, nobody can move forward without new information. So that is why research is so important. And that's why we are really passionate about that as an institution, as the University of Southern Mississippi. And that's also why we're really passionate about that as the Honors College. So through that process, you will get to interview those faculty members, see what kind of research they're working on, and see what kind of things they're passionate about. It'll really help you get ideas for what you want to do for your project, and then you'll get to figure out who you want to be for your thesis advisor. You will pick someone, one of your professors, to be your thesis advisor. They'll be like your mentor through the thesis process. And then together, you will figure out what you want to do for your topic. They may have some ideas for you, or you may have some ideas. You'll figure out together what you want to do for your thesis project, and then you'll come up with a timeline, a plan for your thesis project. So you're not just going to step into your senior year just trying to figure it out as you go. You will have a plan before you get there. That's basically what you're going to be working on in your junior year. So you're going to learn about the thesis process, you're going to find a thesis advisor, and then you're going to come up with a plan together. Let's talk about the senior year now. So in your senior year in the Honors College, your second year in the Honors College, you are enrolled in research hours in your major. You are technically enrolled in this class, but it's not a class that you have to attend. You are basically going to be working on your thesis project in your free time, chipping away at it while you're finishing up your senior year classes. It's kind of like independent study, if you may remember that from like high school. So, independent study, you're working on your thesis in your free time. You may be checking in with your thesis advisor along the way in your senior year, making sure that you're hitting the benchmarks that you set together with your plan. And then by the time that you graduate, you're going to have finished your thesis project and we will publish your work once you graduate, which is a really great thing to have on your resume. Now, for some majors like psychology, like majors in the sciences like chemistry and biology, your majors will require you to complete research in order to graduate. This is kind of a no-brainer for you to participate in this program because you're going to be required to complete research anyway. So you might as well complete research with us. You don't have to double up on your research hours. You'll be completing the same hours, except for us, you will be publishing your work and conducting your own thesis project as opposed to just conducting undergraduate research. So that's definitely something to think about if you're in any of those areas like the sciences or psychology in particular. So definitely be thinking about that. I will take a note for students who are in like education or nursing, social work. Typically with your timeline, because you're going to have to do clinicals or student teaching in your last semester, we try to get you guys to start on your research a little bit earlier so that you won't have to be working on your research while you're conducting your clinicals or doing your student teaching. So some students ask about that. I just wanted to throw that out there. But the thesis process is really great. Typically, what you're looking at in your senior year, a lot of students will do their actual research in the fall semester. So you're setting up your experiments, you may be doing surveys, you're collecting your data, and then whenever you get into your spring semester, your final semester, that's when you're compiling all of your information and you're actually going to start writing out your thesis project, writing it out, drawing your conclusions, and then you submit it for review to your advisor, to your dean, and then to the Honors College for final approval, which is so exciting. So that's pretty much overall what happens with these classes for the Honors Keystone program. Like I said before, in total it's 5 hours, 2 hours your junior year and 3 hours total for your senior year. So it doesn't add that much onto your schedule. Overall, that's what happens. Now, I do want to take a break for a second and talk about honors research. Research is something that can sound kind of scary to students sometimes, and I don't want it to be a scary thing for you. So, research looks different depending on what major you're wanting to go into. Your thesis project will look different depending on what you're studying. So, for my students in the sciences, a lot of the times that will look like traditional lab research. I've got students who are doing research on Zika virus. I've got students who are doing research on tick-borne illnesses, on genetic research. There are lots of different things that our students are exploring in those different areas. For my students in psychology, they're looking at alcohol abuse, they're looking at mental illnesses. There are lots of different things to study in those areas too, and those are really rich research areas at the university. But for my students who are looking at the humanities or maybe the arts or maybe business, you guys may be a little more concerned about what research looks like for you. And I just want you I want to be really clear with you guys that research can take on a lot of different forms. So for my students who are going into more creative majors, those students can be taking on more creative projects. So I've got students who are in theater, who are doing design projects, or they are doing makeup designs for shows that are going on at USM right now. I've got students in graphic design who are creating portfolios and designing their own businesses and logos and websites to go along with those businesses. I've got music students who are they're composing pieces, they are doing interpretations of performances. There are lots of different ways that you can approach those things as a student in the arts. For my students who are in business majors, people don't really realize importance of market research until you actually get out into the business world. So I want you guys to really think about it whenever you're going into a business degree. It's really important to understand market research. Maybe you will do for your capstone project, you might be conducting, I know my business majors have to do a capstone project their senior year, so you can do your thesis as your capstone project. A lot of those students will take on a business and create for them a marketing plan or a social media plan. I had a student a few years ago who did her study abroad trip in Japan, and she did her research on Taco Bell marketing in Japan. That's not something students really think about, but yeah, you have to market Taco Bell in Japan in a different way, I'm sure. So there are lots of different ways that you can approach that, and that's something that can be really helpful to you when you get out into the real world. For my students in the humanities, a lot of you maybe thinking about research more as like the lab kind of perspective, but there's lots of different things that you can do. I have students that are conducting research on Disney villains and Disney princesses and their impact on society. I've got students that are studying the presidential elections, and I've got students who are comparing literature and who are finding historical pieces in archives that have never been discovered before, and they're doing research on that. There are so many different things to explore in your field. I have criminal justice majors who are conducting interviews with arsonists in prisons and trying to learn more about what their drives are and what their perspectives are. There's so many different different ways that you can approach this project. And like I said before, you're going to have a thesis advisor who's going to be there behind you to back you up whenever it comes time to actually doing your project. But try not to think of it in too limited of a way. Think of it like you're writing a paper in your high school class. Really try to expand and think about the topics in your field that you want to know more about and things that you want to find the answers to. That's how I want you to look at this thesis project, as an opportunity to ask questions about things and to find answers about things that are going to, one, sate your curiosity, and two, that could really have a really cool impact on your field. So now that we've talked a little bit about the curriculum and what the Honors Keystone program consists of, let's talk some more about why you should join the Honors College and why you should participate in this program. The first and probably primary reason would be the opportunity to participate in undergraduate research. You have the opportunity to investigate a topic in your field that you're intensely curious about. We talked a little bit before about why research is important to your field and about contributing to your field, but this research opportunity also gives you a really great set of skills that you can apply no matter what area you're wanting to go into. So whether you're wanting to go to grad school, or you're wanting to go to any kind of professional school, or you're just wanting to go straight into the workforce after graduation, conducting this research teaches you a really wide set of skills that are going to help prepare you to enter into those programs. So for my students that are entering directly into the workforce, conducting this project teaches you a lot about project management. It teaches you some really great communication skills. It teaches you about problem solving and critical thinking. All of those are skills that people are looking for in their employees. For my students who are wanting to go into grad school, graduate school, you typically have to conduct a thesis. So this is really setting you up for going into graduate schools. Whenever you're applying for those programs, if you can show to them that you already know how to conduct a thesis project and you already have your feet wet when it comes to research, you are going to be much better prepared compared to other students who have not had this type of experience. So you are going to be really set up whenever you're applying for these programs. Another piece for students who are going into professional school. So if you're wanting to go to medical school or law school or physical therapy school, any kind of professional degree programs, this is also another really great opportunity for you guys. So students who are wanting to go into medical school, a lot of students who are applying for these programs have this research experience under their belt, so you don't want to be the person that is missing this from your resume. That's something that I definitely want to point out. And then a lot of times whenever you're going into medical school, you're going to be conducting research whenever you get to medical school too. So having this under your belt is really helpful whenever you're applying for those programs. For both medical school and law school, I think that this research opportunity really teaches you a lot about how to think about things in different ways. So how to ask the right questions about things and to find the answers. That's something that can be applied no matter what field you're really going into, but especially for our physicians and especially for lawyers and anybody who's in the medical field, anybody who's in the professional world who has a really, really great deal of responsibility on their shoulders. Understanding how to draw on different perspectives is going to be very important for you. And so I think this experience is going to be really helpful for you to cultivate that. Another really important benefit of participating in the Keystone program is the relationships that you will develop with your thesis advisor and with the Honors College faculty and staff. So whenever it comes time to start applying for jobs, applying for grad school, applying for professional degree programs, you are going to need recommendation letters. And there will be no one better to know your work ethic than your thesis advisor. They will know you so well from working with you on a regular basis, of knowing your work ethic and knowing how it is you attack a project. So that is going to be a really great resource for you, on top of your Honors College professors, on top of the Honors College staff. These are going to be really great contacts for you when it comes time to apply for these programs. Another reason to be a member of the Honors Keystone program would be the distinction that comes with being a member of the Honors College at a university. So that may seem kind of obvious, but that's something that you could put on your resume whenever you start applying for programs or applying for jobs. You also get to graduate with Latin distinction when you're a member of the Honors College, depending on where your GPA is when you graduate, but that would be cum laude, summa cum laude, or magna cum laude. And that is something that will go on your diploma. That's something that you can add to your resume. That's just another thing to put on there to help distinguish you whenever you're applying for these different programs. Another really great part, of really great distinction, is that our students get to wear their honors medallion whenever they graduate. So keep an eye out a little bit later in the presentation. You'll see some of our students wearing their honors medallions. That's something that's only reserved for Honors College students whenever they graduate. So definitely keep that in mind. One thing that we pride ourselves on as the Southern Miss Honors College is that we are so much more than an academic program. We are a community, a family of inclusive and supportive students, faculty, and staff. For a lot of our students, we are their people. The Honors College consists of their people. In particular, for my transfer students, students that are coming from other universities, students that are coming from a community college, whenever you come to USM, you're going to be stepping into an entirely different world. I know, and for some of you, that might be kind of a scary thing, but when it comes to the Honors College, it's like a built-in community for you to step into. In particular for students that are coming from community colleges, that's a much smaller environment that you're stepping out of into this larger world. It's really, really great to have people that you can talk to and people that you can rely on. So I just wanted to make the point of this community aspect. This is not something that people typically think about as being an important piece in their decision-making process, but for those of you that understand the value of a community, I think that you'll definitely see the importance of it whenever you're here. I would also like to touch on some really great perks to being in the Honors College. So whenever you're in the Honors College, you do get an Honors College academic advisor. This person will be assigned to you whenever you come into the program in the fall, and it's just another set of eyes on you. It's another person that's there to help you along the way. So they're there to help you figure out what honors classes you need to be taking. Maybe you're looking for internship opportunities or resources. They're there to help you get connected. Maybe you're having problems with a teacher or your boyfriend or your roommate. They're also a really great person for emotional support. So if you need something, whether it's academic support or emotional support, that is going to be a really great resource for you in your honors academic advisor. Honor students also get to have access to priority registration for classes. This is probably one of my students' favorite aspects of being a member of the Honors College, because our students get to sign up for classes before the rest of the university. So if they are trying to get into a certain class with a certain professor at a certain time, they are much more likely to get into that class as a member of the Honors College. So if you are maybe trying to schedule things around your work schedule, this is going to be really, really helpful for you. Another really great aspect of being the Honors College is our Honors College Leadership Council. So, if you like to develop yourself as a leader, if you like to participate in extracurriculars, our Honors College Leadership Council, we call it HCLC, is a really great activity to participate in. So, it's made up of 5 different committees. That's going to be our community life, ambassadors, philanthropy, academic life, and our first year mentors. So if you like to participate in things, definitely look into joining our HCLC. Another really great perk is our Honor House Student Lounge and Computer Lab. So if you come to the Honor House, we have specific student spaces for you guys. It's open 24 hours a day for our students. You can just swipe in the back. The Student Lounge has free coffee, free popcorn. The Computer Lab has a printer and computers that you can use. It's a really great place to study. If you're wanting to get away from things, like I said, you can get in there 24 hours a day, so it's a really great place to set up. If you need to come between classes, whatever you need to do. It's a really cool little funky space. Probably one of the most important parts about being in the Honors College is our access to puppies and kittens. That's something that people probably have not told you about their Honors Colleges before, but we host events throughout the semester called Puppy Days and Kitten Days. They probably happen about 3 or 4 times during the semester. There's a picture of one of our puppy days here on this slide. Essentially, what we do, we have a puppy officer committee. That's another committee that students can join. They go to the animal shelter, they pick up a litter of puppies or a litter of kittens, give them a bath, and bring them to the Honor House, and we sit on the porch and play with puppies all day. So this is a really great enrichment activity for the puppies, and it's a really great stress relief activity for our students. So we want you guys to have fun when you're in college. We don't want you to be stressed out all the time. We want to provide stress support and stress relief for you. So whether that is going to be a puppy day or if that's going to be an HCLC event like Fall Bash or Valentine's Day, we want you guys to have fun while you're in college and want you to have fun while you're a member of the Keystone program. So definitely remember these other perks that are a part of being in the Keystone program. So now that we've talked about the program, now that I have completely convinced you to apply for the Keystone program for this fall, let's talk about what that application looks like. So in order to apply, you will log into the GO system. That's the Golden Opportunities system. You can get to that login page by going to usm.edu/scholarships. They have a button there that you can press to go into the GO system. You'll log into there with your student ID number and your password, your SOAR password. And in that system, you will complete something called the general application. No matter what you decide, whether or not you decide to apply for the Keystone program, you need to fill out that general application for scholarships. That is going to help you gain access to scholarships beyond the Honors College. That is going to help you gain access to scholarships in your major, scholarships you didn't even know that you qualified for. So make sure you fill that out no matter what. That's going to look kind of like a digital resume. So you'll put down your activities, your involvement, part-time jobs, volunteer work, list all of that stuff on there. We also look at that as a part of your Honors College application. So we're considering those things as a part of your admission to the Keystone program. So make sure you're thorough, make sure you proofread. That's very, very important. Once you submit that general application, you'll search for Honors Keystone, and the Honors Keystone application should pop up for you. So let's talk a little bit about that Keystone application. So for the Keystone application itself, there are a few different things that you're going to need. The first thing is going to be a letter of recommendation. Now, the way that it works for us, you don't have to get your professor to send me a letter that they've written. It's all through the system. So I want you to find a professor who has taught you recently. I wouldn't try to pull like your high school junior English professor or anything. Try to find a teacher who's taught you recently. I want you to ask them ahead of time, hey, would you mind writing me a letter of recommendation? And then when they say yes, you are going to go into this application and you're going to put down their email address. Whenever you save your application, the system is going to automatically send your professor a form to fill out via email. So they don't have to write me a letter, mail me a letter, or anything like that. They're going to fill out this form through the system, and then they're going to submit it through that system. The next part is going to be an essay. So we have a writing prompt for you there in the application itself. I want to say it's like 500 words, so that's less than a page. So it's not a lot of writing that you have to do, but make sure your writing is strong. You want to make sure that you proofread everything. You want to make sure that you give us a kind of a cool and unique perspective. Try not to be too cliche with whatever you're writing about, really show us your personality through your writing. The next part is going to be something called a statement of purpose. I believe the minimum for this is like 300 words. So again, really short. If you want to go over that, that's totally fine. But this statement of purpose, I would say, is really, really important. Basically, what you're going to be doing for this is saying, why do you want to be in the Honors College? We talked about a lot of really great reasons of why you should be in the Honors College, but we want to hear from you why you think you should be a member of this program, what you have to contribute, and what you think the Honors College is going to give to you in return. So in this statement of purpose, I definitely want you guys to keep your writing really strong, make sure you proofread everything. But I also really want you to think about your ambitions. I want you to think about your major. What do you want to do with your degree? What do you want to do after graduation? Talk about your ambitions. Talk about your goals for the future. Talk about maybe some ideas that you have for your research project. That would be fantastic for you to talk about some different ideas of things in your field that you want to study for your research project, for your thesis project. So talk about all those things, proofread it, statement of purpose. At the end of the application, you will have the opportunities to submit a research paper that you've done for one of your recent classes. So if you have done a research paper for one of your classes, you can submit that. Make sure you proofread it. You don't always proofread things when you're like a freshman in college, but make sure you do at least run spell check on it. If you haven't written a research paper in any of your recent classes, don't worry about it. Like I said before, this is something that's optional. I would like to make a note for my students who are those MOU students from those honors programs at community colleges, those community colleges on the list I said earlier. If you are going to be applying for this program, you have to submit a letter or a letter from your director or a transcript stating that you are graduating in good standing from your program. So definitely keep that in mind. Make sure you give, for all of you, make sure you give your professor and your directors time to get everything submitted. Let's talk about deadlines. So the application for the Honors Keystone program is now available in the Go system. It opens February 15th every year, and typically it would close July 1st, but we've decided to extend the deadline this year to July 19th. So I want you guys to remember that deadline, July 19th. It's very important because not only is your application due, but all of the application components are also due on that 19th deadline. So that means your teacher recommendation, and for my MOU students, that also includes the letter from your counselor or your director from your honors program. So students, I just want you all to remember that July 19th deadline is very important for a complete application. So you have to have those different components all submitted by that deadline. I also want you guys to remember that it's really important. This is a competitive application process, so it's important to get started early on these things. Give yourself time to put effort into your essays and to proofread your application so that you're not struggling at the last minute trying to get everything done. Okay, guys, so we have talked about the Keystone program in its entirety. We've talked about the curriculum, the benefits, the application process. What I want you to do now is I want you to learn as much about us as possible. So I encourage everyone to follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook to learn more about our awesome community of scholars. We post all kinds of great content about the fantastic and interesting things that our students are currently doing. We post things about the things that our alumni are doing. So, and we also post things about deadlines. So if you want to stay on top of these Keystone deadlines, definitely follow us. But you can follow us at HC_Southern Miss. And on Facebook, we are Southern Miss Honors College. So definitely encourage you to follow us on social media. All right, y'all. So we've covered pretty much everything there is to cover. If you have any additional questions, I definitely encourage you to set up a virtual meeting with me. I do virtual Zoom meetings with students all the time. So if you go to usm.edu/honors and click the live chat button, you can go to my scheduler, set up a meeting with me. I'd be happy to talk to you in more detail about your program and how Honors College can work for you. You can also email me at honors@usm.edu. That email email will go to me, and I'll get back to you if you have any specific questions about anything. But it was wonderful talking to you. If you need anything, always feel free to let me know. Again, my name is Emily Grzinskis. I'm the coordinator of recruitment for the Southern Miss Honors College, and I'll leave it saying Southern Miss and Honors College to the top.